All right.
You got the icebreaker?
I've got the question today.
Sounds good. Let's hear
It's
it.
a nice would you rather.
Okay.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck
Oh,
or 100
the classic.
duck-sized horses?
This is a classic.
It's a good one.
See, but you're not online very much.
No.
You're not a terminally online human being.
No, I'm not.
So in your mind, you probably think this is a new question, huh?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I think it's a new question, but I think it's a pretty good one.
Okay. Let's break this down. A duck is a bird, yes?
It is a bird.
Okay. I just want you to follow along with me. Birds notoriously have very weak and brittle bones.
Yes, they do.
So in my mind, even a horse-sized duck
A very large duck.
would be relatively weak for its size. Like the way
That is a great point.
the way people get this wrong is they assume that the duck is going to evolve with all of the qualities of the horse.
Right.
Super muscular, fast.
You know, biting was actually a factor I was considering. I have been bitten by a duck.
Yeah.
It wasn't pain-free.
Yeah.
But it's not like ducks have teeth, right?
This is the thing.
But imagine 100 little horses trying to bite you. And of course they're at ankle height, but still when you fight, I'm assuming you're going to be using your hands in some capacity.
I really think the one duck-sized horse is the way to go here.
Yeah.
But
just because it's 100 small ones. If it were 10 small ones.
You go small horse
or
all
even
day.
25.
Yeah, I think
I'd
you
go
can handle
small
25.
horse.
The only way this goes south, like, is this one-on-one single combat, or am I just
100
living
all at once?
No, am I living my life and a massive duck just comes out of the sky and
surprising
just takes me
you?
out?
Yeah, see,
Because
that's what we don't know.
At that point, I would definitely lose to that.
If it's an aerial attack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's just
fair.
the thing about all these would you rathers, the ones that are like impossible, is there's so many different ways to
So many
spin it
scenarios.
to your side and be like, well, if the horse is this and the ducks are that, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
But I do think that a lot of people go wrong because they assume that the duck is gonna have horse powers at the size of a horse.
Right. It's like it's not going to move as fast as a horse. It's
Small
not gonna be
horses
as
are still
strong.
horses.
Right.
Like a couple kicks and you're done. They're horses. They're powerful animals. So
They are.
I think that the clear winner, probably 80% of people should say duck-sized horse. Horse-sized duck.
Yes.
That's it. That's
Yes.
the one.
The large duck, the big duck.
Whatever the one thing that you've got to fight is,
Right.
that's it.
Right. I think I agree with you. I kind of went back and forth until I thought about the biting and the 100 chompy little horse mouths.
Yeah, you're very concerned about the 100. That's the thing. If they're all coming, 100 of anything, 100 of anything all at one time
You're
is
gonna
going to take
lose.
you out.
Yeah.
You're just physically, there is no way to fight that off.
Right.
You get no weapons. You've got to deal with that.
Yeah. No.
People, that one is, I think it's a little bit easier than the internet has turned it out to be. But that's a very famous would you rather.
Oh, well, there you go.
Had you never heard that one?
I don't think so.
Are you serious? That is an incredibly famous. That was like the one that launched 1,000 ships. The
Oh,
would you
really?
rather. Yeah.
No,
that was super
I don't
famous.
really spend a lot of time
Online
or on Reddit or anything like that. I don't really do that. I know you do.
I'm
Yeah.
trying not to.
Yeah. I just never really got into it.
No, you were never big in the online community. You read too much. You
Yeah.
read too many books to have to deal with other human beings telling you their opinion and etc.
I think I just spend too much time on other things. I never really had time to start
To do that.
doing online
Sorry,
stuff.
folks. I'm going to have to take some water here. I seem to have developed fall allergies, or maybe I'm sick. I don't feel sick, but I feel like congestion.
Yeah.
I didn't take the Claritin again today.
Yeah.
But yesterday I just couldn't breathe. And it seemed, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice.
It's
but
probably allergies because remember I developed fall allergies when we moved here.
Listen, I got a bone to pick with Georgia.
Okay.
I've lived in Florida. I've lived in Alabama.
Yeah.
Nothing. No spring allergies, no fall allergies. Living the good life. The minute that we move here.
That's not true though. The first 2 years we lived here, you never had any allergies.
Okay, but we didn't go outside because it was COVID.
That's also true.
So 2019, we moved here in the fall. I did not develop the fall allergies. 2020, we're inside, from March until, I don't know, August, September, when we started getting back out. 2021 was when they started.
Was it?
Yes.
I thought it was just last year.
No, it has been 2, but I didn't take care of them in 2021. I was like, this is not real because I'm going to deny it.
Yeah.
So, if I'm sick, I'm just going to say, no, I'm not sick. But so I started developing, they were really bad last year. Yeah. All that to say, they were bad again this year. And I was like, well, at least springtime is done and I won't have to deal with allergies again until next year. Boom. Yeah. I got a pollen alert on my phone like 3 days ago. Right then and there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, different things pollinate at different times of the year. I mean, there's...
Yeah, but how am I allergic to all of it?
I don't know.
Brutal.
I don't know. You have adult onset allergies like your dad.
That's the other thing too. I should have known it was coming my way because my dad didn't develop allergies until, when did we move to America? 2008?
Yeah, 2007.
So how old was he then? Early 40s probably? Late 30s, I think?
I don't know.
But sometime around there. So I thought I had some more time. I was like, well, I guess I'm getting to early 30s. Damn, dude.
I mean, kind of.
But I think Georgia is really bad.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of accelerated the process.
My allergies are definitely worse here.
Woof. Like in Florida, I don't deal with it at all.
No, I don't either.
Here crushes me. So we've got a new regiment. I've got to take the nasal spray and the pill and all that jazz. But the other thing I wanted to say was it is dreadful outside. So if it's a little dark, that's why.
You know how I knew the weather was bad?
How?
I was working
Traffic
today.
Was bad?
No. Before I left work, I was, in patient rooms. I wasn't around windows. So as far as I knew, it was sunny and like nice weather like we've been having lately.
Yeah.
I looked at my phone and I had an email from Norcross Power.
The power
was out to 550 homes in our area. And I said, it must be raining.
Dude.
And I looked outside and it was.
Let me just for a second. I think we've talked about this before.
We have definitely talked about how bad it is here.
Something happened when they designed or built the power grid in this city.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Again,
we've lived in Alabama. We've lived in Florida. Hurricanes, crazy tornadoes. We barely ever lost power.
Listen.
Barely.
The bad hurricane that just kind of hit Tampa a little bit, not directly. Lee? Yeah, Idalia, I think it was. My grandmother did not lose power.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
She didn't lose power at all in a hurricane, in a category 3-4 hurricane.
I mean, it makes sense, but then again, it really doesn't because where we are, tornadoes are still a thing. Like you would think that they would do better building the grid is what I'm trying to say.
I know, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that's how I figured out that it was probably raining was I got an email from our power company.
It's not even severe weather. It's like minor thunderstorms.
It's been drizzling all day.
But minor thunderstorms will knock the power out.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, Florida, literally category 2, you're going to lose power. Not sometimes a category 1 if you're in the direct path.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times you're not.
Right.
Florida has to deal with, at 4 p.m., the most horrendous thunderstorms you've ever seen in your life. And nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Get your stuff together, Georgia.
But yeah, I thought you would laugh at that.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I've been dealing with, we're going to jump around to a lot of different topics here. I've been dealing with just computer trouble. Yeah. So I'm kind of glad. The dreariness matches my mood. Because last night, Windows updated. And for whatever reason, whenever Windows forcefully puts an update on my computer, because they can't get their security right.
Freaks out.
My computer goes crazy. So this time, it would boot up totally fine. Everything seemed to be good. You'd get to the home screen. You'd get your wallpapers. Everything is set up. No icons. Well, that's very strange. Mm-hmm. You'd try and click on anything. Nothing. It would like spin out like it was crashing again.
Yeah.
So I tried like 8 different things because I didn't want to reset it again. Like reset is like, it'll fix it, but it's so inconvenient because it just wipes everything like application wise. You get to keep your personal files and stuff, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, but you have to like reinstall all of your software.
Everything, get everything back set up, do the whole 9. So I fought against it for like 6 hours yesterday. I was just downstairs trying every which different thing. And then this morning I woke up and it did it again. I was just like, you know what? You're getting reset.
Yeah.
It only took like an hour, but I still got it done.
I'll show you. Reset.
Technology, man. It's just like, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem is like, I'm good enough with technology to know what's wrong, but not know how to fix it a lot of times.
Listen, if that had happened to my computer, I would have just had to buy a new computer.
No, I would have talked you through the reset.
No, like in a world where I don't know you. Like in a world where like I'm in a silo. If that happened, I would just have to throw it away,
restart,
and go to the store and just start fresh, or take the computer to the store, and like pay the Geek Squad.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I will say about Windows. A lot of the times when it's a catastrophic issue, Windows will take you to a screen that says something has gone horribly wrong. Would you like to reset the computer?
It's like, do you need help?
But this time, like, it wasn't bad enough. Like it was booting fine.
Bad.
No, but like computers are stupid.
Yeah.
So computer, it recognizes one thing, crashes. It says, "Oh, this was bad. This is how you fix it.
Let's fix it."
It was not crashing. It was booting. It just wasn't booting all the way up to be a functional computer.
Right.
That's the worst place to be because then the computer's not saying anything about it. It thinks it's running fine. It's like, "Oh yeah, we're good."
It's like, dude, what's your problem?
Literally, we're chilling. I could open the task manager. I could do everything I needed to do except use it as a computer. So,
which is in a sense the most important.
Don't even get me started. Like that was what I needed, right? It's absurd when you're in that situation because like it's like you're on the precipice. You know, there's just one thing that you need to change and it'll fix it. Yeah. For those of you that ever run into this problem, resetting Windows is usually the best case scenario because you get to save all your files if you haven't backed up your hard drive, and it will reset you to a more manageable level of Windows. I don't know if anybody else deals with this, but every single time there's a major Windows update.
It's crazy.
It happened in May. It happened again. It's going to happen again before the end of the year. They usually do them quarterly, so I am excited about that.
Yeah.
I mean, but it is what it is.
You had something really good happen this week, though. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, 500 subscribers?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you guys.
Yeah.
If you're watching this podcast and you're subscribed to the channel, even if you're not and you're still watching the podcast, I really, really appreciate it. Because this is something, YouTube itself is something that I want to do as a career in an attempt to be able to have a stable is not the right word because stable on YouTube is still, but a more stable income so that I can continue to offer coaching at what I feel is a manageable price.
Yeah.
Because I love coaching 18 to like 35-year-olds. I'll coach anybody, but that's like my bread and butter, people that want to do bodybuilding, powerlifting. The problem with that is they usually don't have the type of money to be able to pay these higher end coaches.
Right.
I'm not grouping myself with the higher end coaches yet. I've only been doing this for 2.5 years.
But you're getting there.
But I think for where I am as a 2.5-year experienced coach, I'm pretty dang good.
Absolutely.
So, and as I continue to gain knowledge and experience, and I may raise my prices a little bit, but if the YouTube itself was monetized and I was getting a little bit I'm not talking about like these crazy Mr. Beast numbers.
No.
A sustainable amount of money that I could continue to keep the coaching low.
Kind of help subsidize a lower cost.
In my mind, this is a little inside baseball, but that's how I want the structure of my business to run, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing too is the more eyes on the YouTube stuff and the Instagram stuff, the more opportunity to coach other people.
Yeah. But it's kind of a milestone. It's something you were hoping to achieve by the end of the year. And so I think we talked about that maybe last week that
500 was coming close in the last week. Yeah, so we talked about it. And
that you were hoping to hit it by the end of the year, and we got it this week. So that was really exciting.
It's a really interesting thing because I had one of my clients, shout out to you. I don't like naming them because I don't know if they want to be private or not. So I'll just say one of my clients, you know who you are. He messaged me and was like, "Hey, I've got a good idea for you to talk about on the podcast." And it's the process of goal setting.
Okay.
And it actually really ties in because the 500 subscriber mark was the long-term goal that I had set, right?
Like when you first started out?
Well, this year. Okay. I like to do things by year or by quarter or whatever. So for me, this year, in January, I'm pretty sure I wrote it down or I made a video about it, but I wanted to get to 800 Instagram followers, which I've gotten and surpassed, and 500 YouTube subscribers on the road to monetization. But what trips people up, and you can do this for anything. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to put 50 pounds on my squat. that is not an instantaneous thing.
Right. That's the goal, certainly. Right. But in addition to selecting a goal, you have to determine your path.
So what I like to do, a structure that I like to use is the upside down triangle or pyramid. So you start with the big goal on top. So for me, that's 500 subscribers. But then everything leading to that goal has to fill the rest of the pyramid. And it has to be smaller stuff that is challenging enough that when you accomplish it, you get that feeling of reward that keeps you pushing towards the bigger goal.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important to have the long-term goal, the short-term goals, and also the interventions that you're going to do to get there, right? So for something like a number like 500 subscribers, you know, I don't know where let's say you started the year at 300.
I think it was around 250,
Okay, yeah. So you want to gain 200 subscribers by the end of the year. If you break that down quarterly, that's 50 subscribers per quarter.
Right.
Those are your short-term goals, right? But that still doesn't tell you what are you going to do to get there. So that's when you have your interventions, which is, you know, post, 5 reels a week, 3 videos a week, 1 podcast a week. Or, do more different styles of video.
Yeah.
Or, you have your goals and you also have I call them interventions because in the therapy world, that's what it is.
I call them just like small, medium, and large goals, just to keep it easier.
Or like your tasks.
Right. Your like daily how disciplines are you going that to bring you to...
Right. You have to have the long-term goal. You have to have the short-term goals, but then you also have to have the tasks by which you will achieve those goals.
Because the unfortunate thing is a lot of us are really good at making goals.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so you want to lose 20 pounds.
Awesome.
How?
Yeah, right.
You have to answer... We talk a lot about you have to have a why for your goals, and that's very important. We talk about that because it's important, but you also have to answer the how question.
Yep.
So you want to lose 20 pounds, how? You're going to, and you can't just say, I'm going to change my diet, I'm going to exercise.
Specific.
No, I'm going to get this many steps a week. I'm going to exercise for 30 minutes Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
I'm going to
eat at this level of depth or
and not
avoid
even say
this food group or, not eat past 8, whatever it is.
Right. And not even like you have to make it as specific as possible. You just can't say I'm going to avoid processed foods. It's like, well, no, I'm going to for me, I love a good French fry. I eat a lot of French fries. Maybe it's I'm not going to eat French fries or I'm only going to have French fries once a week.
I might push back on you just a little bit. I think you're taking it too far in the clinical side of things.
Yeah. And that's my background.
Exactly. And it has to be incredibly specific.
Yes.
But the problem that you run into with non-pathological goals, so you're not coming back from a stroke, right? You're just trying to lose 10 pounds, is the overwhelming pursuit of that goal and the rigidity of it sometimes will work counter to you.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
So in those goals where it would be, I'm not going to eat Rice Krispies versus I'm not going to eat processed foods, I would tend to move people more towards not going to eat processed foods.
Or just eat less limit processed foods to 3 times a week. To allow
a little bit of flexibility.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think specifically with diet behavior modification, flexibility helps a lot.
Okay. But maybe with the exercise piece.
With the exercise, yes. I think you can be very, very rigid with that. I'm going to work out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at this time. I would encourage people to go towards that.
Yeah.
Diet is very, very weird because everybody brings their own, emotional response, their own baggage to the diet. So it takes,
that's fair.
It honestly takes me like 2 or 3 months to kind of weed through
out what's gonna
all
work.
The stuff that somebody else is bringing to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a great point. I think you're on track. Yeah. But for me personally, when I coach people, I try to be a little less rigid with the day by day.
Yeah.
And try and take a more long-term, I'm going to give you a calorie goal, but it's probably going to be a range.
Yeah.
You're going to go 18 to 24,000 and we're going to try and average out to 5,000 calorie or 1,000 calorie deficit per week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. So, but I think people often don't answer the how question at all. Yeah. Whether you're answering it right or wrong or optimally, I guess is another question. But a lot of people don't even think about that.
It's a huge thing that has been kind of left behind.
Yeah.
I was listening to something, and I may butcher this completely, but there's a really, when you are very why motivated, when you have I'm doing this because positive reinforcement and positive thinking really helps push you. when you have like your how, but you're not going to have, your why is not going to be incredibly strong all the time. So having the how, which is more associated with negative. So you say, how am I going to achieve the goal? I'm going to go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday rolls around and you're not feeling it. You can leverage negative thoughts to say, how am I going to feel 3 hours after I was supposed to go to the gym if I don't go to the gym? And that can kind of give you the boost to go forward. Yeah. I may have butchered that. I listened to it on a podcast and I thought it was very interesting. I think that's how it works. And I've actually been using that with my writing because I'm trying to write a lot. I want to write a book. I'm going to write an ebook. I've been writing kind of nebulous, just practice stuff, but I've become more focused and I sit down to write and I say, I really just either I don't feel like it because I don't feel inspired or creative, or two, I just don't want to. Yeah. The negative reinforcement for me has really helped.
It's like, no, I committed to do this. Right. I'm going to do it.
And I'm somebody that
maybe it's going to suck, but I'm going to do it.
And I'm very motivated by accomplishing things that I've set out to do. Yeah. But in the daily, I can get a little lazy on that. Like I want to have,
everybody can,
so I'll say to myself, if you waste 2 hours not writing and just kind of sitting around, you're going to feel really bad about yourself. And just that is enough to get me to write. And then I couple it with, you can only write, you just have to write for 5 minutes. Yeah. Start. And then usually I'm making it to the 30-minute mark, which is the goal that I've set.
And usually those 5 minutes go by pretty quick and, maybe you lose track of time and then, it's been my 30 minutes. That's great. I did my thing for today.
So this is the specific message because I just want to make sure that we covered all the bases here. The way that I think about it, hold on. For me to hear how other people are motivated, take that however you want, but the way that I think about it is a day-to-day process, short-term goal or long-term goal oriented, and I think you need all three, but I'm very much a day-by-day habit streak person. If I focus too much on a large goal, like maybe a week down the road, the wheels will start to fall off and everything comes to a halt. So that's really interesting.
It can be discouraging to look a big goal like in the eyes, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that goes back to the whole how thing. It's, when you're setting your goals, what are you going to do every day to achieve it? And then you just get those habits going. And then you really day to day don't even have to think about that long-term goal at all. It's like you're working towards it. Like you've got your habits, you've got your tasks. You celebrate the short-term goals along the way. It's like, 400 subscribers. Sweet. Keep going. Keep doing the same thing. We're still in the habits. And then you get there.
I think this is where the true value of a coach or collaborator comes in. Because you do need both mindsets. Yeah. Because if you've got your head down and you're just work, and you've turned completely off path and you never look up, you're doing the exact opposite of what you need to do to continue on that. But if you have somebody, a coach or collaborator or someone who can take the long view
for you,
who may not be boots on the ground, but can have a supportive role, play a long-term role, they can be like, whoa, come back this way, turn you back, and then you can just focus on keep your head down and working again. Yeah. That's where the power comes in having, and you can do this by yourself. Yeah. If you build out a structured plan first, and then maybe every month or every quarter, you look up, you check the plan. Okay, am I following the flag post or the tent post that I wanted to hit?
Am I doing what I had set out to do each day, habit wise? Yeah. And is it achieving the results that I want? Like, have I attained any short-term goals? Like, is this working? Is
it leading to the way that I thought it was going to lead?
Is it working? Yeah. And that's a very important question because maybe you've achieved some of your short-term goals and so that is proof to you that it's working. Fantastic. What if you haven't achieved those short-term goals yet? Does that mean it's not working? Not necessarily. Right. It might be slower than you expected.
Need more time. Yeah.
You might just need more time. You might need to make some small modifications to speed up the pace, or you might say, I just underestimate. I might be on the completely wrong track. What do I need to change? Or I just underestimated my time frame and I'm going to just continue to do what I'm doing.
But all of those things are very difficult to do without a rational party associated.
Yeah, no, I think it's so valuable to have somebody to bounce ideas off of, brainstorm with, get a different perspective.
I can hear you already. This is an ad for coaching. It doesn't have to be a coach. It can be a colleague, just somebody.
Your partner or spouse. It
can literally be somebody who does not have the same emotional attachment that you do to the process, but still cares enough to give you positive feedback.
Yeah.
Because I think, you can get so emotionally attached to things. And I always go back to powerlifting because that's the sport that I coach and that's what I know. But you can get so in the weeds about, my squat is off. I need to change this technical aspect of it, or this, this tempo, or if I just can do this or that, where in actuality, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Your technique is good. It's just hard.
Right.
Stay the course.
You just need more time.
You just need more time with the movement. You just need more time, more practice, whatever it is. And I've run into that countless times with my deadlift. Like when I was working with my coach and we were going through the meet prep, he would stress to me. He would be like, "Listen, there are some things that we can tighten up with your deadlift technique. It does not serve us any purpose to strip weight off of the bar to reset your technique when you're 4 or 5 weeks out from a meet.
Yeah.
Finish the meet because the technique is serviceable. It's not going to injure you. You're not going to get hurt, and you can still lift a pretty good amount of weight. We can go from 85 to 95% on an off-season block, but focus on the goal there. Whereas if I had the reins, I would have been like, if I make these tweaks and this and that, I'll be way better,
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by getting off path.
Right.
So I just think it is very valuable to have somebody in your corner that's gonna keep you on that long-term goal. Yeah. I am also a very day-to-day, just hit your task, do your daily discipline, and you're good. And I think you can go very, very, very far with that.
Yeah.
But there are moments, and I'm trying to be a lot better about focusing on the long-term goal, because there are moments when the motivation wanes based on daily discipline, and you just feel like I've been in the mud for 3 months and I'm not making any progress. Yeah. That's when you pick your head up and you look and you see, oh my God, I have made a lot of progress. So there you go.
That's a great question.
Yeah. Thank you for that. If you have a question or a comment, something that you would like clarified, or just something in general that you want to hear us talk about, please leave it in the comments, or you can DM me on Instagram or join our Discord.
Yeah.
Because that would be really fun. We got 500 subscribers now, so we're going to have a big Discord here in a second.
Yeah, we are.
I also wanted to touch on, how you feeling? You good?
Yeah.
You ready to keep going?
I'm ready.
I wanted to touch on a specific question that I saw that I thought was really interesting. Let's see. Okay. Is it normal for my weight to fluctuate so much? For context, I'm 185 centimeters. Dude, these freaking metric system people.
Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, please. 185 centimeters. I'm going to say 6'1".
Let's see.
6'1".
6 foot?
Oh, I'm close. Okay. 6 feet.
6 feet and 0.8 inches.
I'm going to give him 6'1". Round up, baby.
You can give him 6'1".
My tall king. And I'm trying to gain. I weigh myself every 2 days at the same time in the morning.
Okay.
And Wednesday, I weighed 78.7 kilos, which is going to be 157 pounds, maybe?
173.5.
Okay. And today I weighed in at only 77.4 kilos. Wow.
So he was 173. Whoops. And
that's about a 2 kilo drop fluctuation. So a 4.4 pound.
Come on.
What's happening?
I'm trying to
see technical difficulties.
Yeah, he lost 3 pounds.
3 pounds, yeah.
That's I haven't that much pounds.
Listen, we're going to get there. I haven't starved myself or eaten drastically less between these days either. Any ideas what it may be?
Did he weigh himself at the same time?
Yes, that's what he said. Okay. He said that's what he claimed.
I was too busy having technical difficulties.
No.
I'm sorry.
He's weighing himself at the same time. His weight is fluctuating. This goes back to having somebody who is not emotionally connected kind of guide you here. This is 1000% normal.
Right.
Weight is transient.
It absolutely is.
Like, there are so many things that affect human beings' weight. So on the male side and especially on the female side of things.
Yeah, that's like 1.5% of his total body weight.
This is the thing, though. when you are deep in the weeds trying to make a change, these fluctuations seem like the world is crumbling down.
No, absolutely.
I've experienced the same thing.
I have too, actually.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I have too. But like, I mean, my body weight fluctuates within that same number of pounds, 3 to 5 pounds.
Dude.
And that's a much higher percentage of my usual body weight than it is for him. Yeah, I mean, yours. You want to
tell people how much my body weight fluctuates?
Yours can vary by 5 to 10 pounds.
There have been nights where I have lost 8 or 9 pounds.
Overnight.
There was a moment in the heat of the summer where I would go into the gym. I work out in a gym with no air conditioning.
Yeah.
So I'm sweating like crazy. I would go in. I think I would come back down 12, 13 pounds.
Just after a 2-hour workout.
After a 2-hour workout.
Yeah.
The body is primarily made up of water. Water in a lot of different forms. If you're training, you're depleting water, you're depleting glycogen. If you are not adequately recovering all of those things, that's going to cause a fluctuation overnight. Here's the thing, dude. Eat some more carbs the next day, refill, you're going to be good.
Yeah. I mean, your weight day to day depends so much on what you ate the day before, your macronutrients, your micronutrients. Did you drink alcohol yesterday?
Are you pooping?
Are you constipated?
Like, that's massive.
Yeah. What are your hormones like? Are you stressed?
I'll tell you what.
I mean, there's so many factors.
Whoever invents a reliable way to just measure body fat is going to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Because the scale is a liar.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
The scale is not measuring your lean tissue or your fat-free mass or your fat mass.
And the crazy thing is like even the things that we have that measure these things, like the Bod Pod or whatever you have at the gym, they're fine. They're expensive and hard to consistently use.
Someone out there, if you invent a at-home scale that reliably measures body fat.
I don't know if it's possible.
I don't think it is possible because
it would have to be some kind of scanner.
I think it would have been invented already had the technology. But
just a scale is never gonna do that.
No.
Yeah.
And even the I hate to break it to you, but the scales that you're using at home that claim to be measuring your body fat.
Yeah, no, they're not.
What they are doing, they are pretty decent at measuring changes in tissue. But they're not reliable in measuring your actual percentages.
Right.
So if you step on it and it says, oh, you got 27% body fat, it's taking into account the amount of water because what it does is it uses electrical current to go through a section of your body. And based on how fast that goes, it uses an algorithm to spits out what it thinks is body fat.
Yeah.
So I have used our little bioelectrical handheld impedance machine at the gym. I've measured. I have drank 2 bottles of water within 5 minutes. I have remeasured, and my body fat percentage was up 3%. So just to let you know, they're not incredibly accurate.
No.
They can be used to track trends.
Over time.
Right?
Yeah.
But the problem is we don't have a reliable way to really know muscle mass changes on a massing phase and body fat reduction on a deficit phase. And that's why we get into trouble here because you're just looking at a scale number and you're not really taking into account the context of everything else that's going around.
It's just a data point. And I think when you have a fluctuation in your weight that you notice, the next step then is not to say, why is my weight changing? It's to say, what's been going on in my life that might have caused this.
Again, this is why you need a rational actor with you because the emotions that we connect to.
There have been so many times you and I have done that for each other.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, countless times.
You talk me off the ledge a ton when I'm in a deficit phase.
Yeah.
You absolutely do. Yeah. But that's the other thing why there's a video on my channel about Macrofactor. Please go watch it.
Yeah, great video.
Because it's one of my best performing videos.
It is. I think it might be best performing.
But and I'm still a big fan of this app. But the reason that I really like it is because it uses body weight trends as opposed to specific individual data points to set your nutrition. Yeah. And the algorithm that it uses is actually very robust and it's very sturdy, meaning it takes 4 or 5 data points before it'll start to move you down in calories or up in calories.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like your weight has to change in the same direction for five straight days
Sometimes
before
more.
it will tell you to change your diet.
Yeah. I think it's very, very helpful because it takes away that level of like, the big concern always stems from, I'm putting in all this work. What if I'm putting in all this work and I am the one human being that the laws of thermodynamics do not apply to?
You're not that special, first of all.
But you start to play mind games, man.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's nice to know that, with that type of data tracking, your weight can fluctuate within 3-5 pounds, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's not going to change your plan because your plan doesn't need to change.
Exactly. I think we need to do a better job of moving away from daily weigh-ins outside of a context of like a physique sport. I think daily weigh-ins with bodybuilding is incredibly important because you are trying to manipulate body water.
Correct.
So that's why daily weigh-ins can be, especially as you get closer to a show.
Right.
And in a lot of cases, if you're cutting weight for like a strongman or a powerlifting competition, then it can. But if we're talking about general population making sustainable health changes, we have got to move away.
Do it like once a week.
Once every 3 days.
Yeah, once or twice a week is probably fine.
You're probably good. And if your rate of weight loss or weight gain is not where you want it to be, then you can start to add in a couple more weigh-ins and see like, okay, I ate a lot of carbs last night. This really bumped me up the night. So maybe I need to cut some late night carbs. Then you can start to make manipulations around that. But I really think like general lifestyle coaches, we need to be a little bit better about, we're going to weigh ourselves maybe once every 3-4 days.
Yeah.
Like
do like a Sunday, Thursday situation. This
is something I've been really trying to work on because like I said, I love coaching powerlifters. I love coaching bodybuilders, but I really do find fulfillment in helping normal people, quote unquote.
Yeah, who just want to get healthier.
Who just want to make a change because I've experienced that. The amount of freedom that gives you, especially if it's a weight loss. If it's a weight gain thing too, I'm not.
Yeah, you've helped
all my
people
skinny
with weight gains.
kings. I'm with you as well. I can put some meat on your bones.
Yeah.
But approaching the diet with the same level of intensity that I would with a bodybuilder or a powerlifter just doesn't work most of the time. Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of change up the way you work with people that way. Like people have one framework and one, what's the damn, the thing we learned in psychology.
What, a schema?
Yeah, there you go. Nice. I'm glad you picked me up there.
I think about schema a lot, actually.
There you go. People have one schema.
I think about schema the way that guys apparently think about the Roman Empire. Like, do you think about the Roman Empire often? How often?
Not as often as some. Probably once or twice a month.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't think about them at all.
Let me finish this.
Okay, yeah,
I'm sorry. We'll get to the Roman Empire. Let me just...
Okay.
We have to be a little bit more flexible
yes.
with our approach.
Yes.
And even if you're going in this body composition change journey by yourself, you also have to be flexible. This is my problem with taking inspiration from these genetic freaks that you see on Instagram who are most likely using anabolic steroids as well.
Sure.
We won't go there, but let's just say they're genetic freaks. Their genetics allow them to train and eat in a very specific way that may not be applicable to you and to the general population that they are trying to sell programs to.
Yeah.
So be wary of that.
Yeah. I remember a couple of years ago when I was trying to lose a little bit of weight. I think I wanted to lose like 10 pounds. You helped me figure out a calorie goal. I was tracking my calories. It was going really well. But then, it was like we would, on a weekend, once or twice a month, we would eat out.
Yeah.
And I would try to track it, and it would be so much higher than it was supposed to be. And it would really, really bother me. I'm like, this is terrible. This is ruining my life. And you're like,
nope.
It's really not that serious.
Nope.
Like, you're doing a great job overall. Look at the trend for the whole week.
Yep.
Like, eat your tacos. It's not that serious.
In the long term,
right.
One meal is really it is a blip.
And like one day going overboard by even quite a lot is really not that big of a deal. You're going to get back on track.
You got to take the long view, right?
Right. And that's really hard to do because we do tend to get so rigid.
Yeah. And this
we get
is
in our
not
routines, we get in our habits. That's a good thing. It saves our brain energy with having habits and routines. It is so important.
It's like we talked about last week. If you had to think through every automated process, you'd be dead in a minute.
You would never make it.
Right.
But at the same time, it's okay to let the plan go for a day or two.
There's always a pendulum because we talk like this, and then there's people out there that say, "Okay, so we're just going to let people off the hook. They don't have to put in any work." This does not excuse discipline,
right? What I'm saying is, like, have your plan, stick to it, be disciplined. But when it's your mom's birthday party,
be flexible.
Go and have some cake and ice cream and like whatever fun food your mom wants to have for her birthday, and then get back to your plan tomorrow. You don't have to not go to the party, or you don't have to not eat anything at the party and have a terrible time. Yeah. It's not that serious. Have some fun and leniency in your life here and there.
The level of the goal has to dictate the attempts to reach that goal.
Right, and like
if you're a competitive bodybuilder.
Right, I was just going to say, if you're Chris Bumstead and it's your mom's birthday the day before your show, maybe don't have cake and ice cream. But this is what I'm saying. But
normal people are approaching diets and body composition changes with the rigidity and the perceived discipline of a professional Olympia level bodybuilder.
It's like you're not LeBron James. Take a day off.
You can get that can be a great start and great inspiration. But 9 times out of 10, I see people just burning out trying to mimic their favorite. Yeah,
and you don't have to do that. It's better to go and have some fun and some leniency occasionally every now and then, so that you can stick with this long term.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because here's the dirty little secret about bodybuilding or powerlifting. They're doing these extreme cutting and bulking cycles very controlled.
Yes.
And then when they retire from the sport of bodybuilding, they're not going to do that anymore.
Right. It's not fun.
It's not fun. It's not sustainable. It can be very dangerous for you metabolically.
Yeah, it is not fun.
They are doing it for a specific outcome. It is not a healthy sport.
Right. They're doing it for a specific outcome within a specific time frame. Right. It's you have this show or you have this meet and you do this really boring, draining thing.
It's difficult.
For, a couple of months at most, and then you have your meet or you have your show. What do you think the bodybuilders are doing as soon as they walk off the stage? They're having a good meal that they probably haven't had in 6 months.
Most likely,
good for them. So it's not even the people at the top, not even these genetic freaks, as you like to say, are doing this strict, crazy thing 100% of the time.
Right.
No human being is doing that.
No,
except for David Goggins, maybe.
I don't know, man.
I don't even think David Goggins is 100%. Like, he probably has a piece of cake on his mom's birthday, too.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. If there's anybody who doesn't, it would be him.
But yeah, it's a big thing that I see a lot of people just get caught up in. It's like, I'm going to do exactly what this guy did because this guy has the physique that I want.
It's like, did you wake up as this guy?
Brother.
Like, you're not this guy.
You don't have the genetics. You don't have the lifestyle.
You have different preferences even.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that as a negative.
You might like different foods.
I mean, God forbid.
Fine.
Like, if I look at, Chris Bumstead, or there's this dude on Instagram that's just chef's kiss in terms of physique. And like, he's on a ton of anabolics.
Yeah.
Which my life and my choices do not allow me to take that road.
Yeah.
So I will never look like that guy.
Good
That's
for you,
fine.
good for him. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah. It truly does not matter.
Just, you got to kind of tweak with things until you find what works for you.
Yeah.
And until it's something that you can stick with.
The problem is the first sign of trouble equals quit instead of readjust.
Right.
I used to fall into this trap all the time.
Yeah.
2 weeks in, 2 weeks in, you get those crazy hunger pains. Mm-hmm. I'm done. If I had been a little bit more intelligent and had the knowledge that I have now, I could have looked at a plan in which I was eating 1,800 calories a day and said, oh my God, I'm 330 pounds. I have a large frame. I have a decent amount of muscle on my body. Maybe this amount of calories is setting myself up for failure, and readjusted and realized at a diet of 2,800 calories, I still would have been losing weight at a pretty damn good clip.
Mm-hmm. And you would have been a lot more satisfied.
And it would have been more sustainable.
Absolutely.
So
because that's what you do now.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I guess it just took me chipping away.
Well, because
for a while.
That's the thing is, like, you're talking about
my biceps.
Like you eating 1,800 calories is like way too low.
Right.
That's probably what I eat most days. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different for everybody.
Everybody's different.
You're an individual. You have to treat yourself like an individual.
We're an extreme example of people being of different body types and having different calorie needs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a good illustration.
100%.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anything else you've been doing?
Not thinking about the Roman Empire.
Oh, yeah, the Roman Empire. Thank you for reminding me. Yes.
What do you think about when you think about the Roman Empire? Like their outfits and their
No, I wouldn't say
tactics?
that it's a very, like some people really think about it. I find myself, I'm a student of history. So sometimes I think about like what it would have been like to live back then.
Okay.
I try and think about like the fall of the Roman Empire and what could have been done to stop the fall of the Roman Empire.
Sure.
You don't think about that?
No.
Really?
Not at all.
I mean, I think about that with a lot of great civilizations, though.
Sure.
I think about that with the Egyptians, too.
Yeah.
There's just this idea, like the meme that's going around is like people, men are always thinking about the Roman Empire, which is funny, but it's not entirely true. What it is we want to be remembered as powerful conquering heroes. It is wired within us.
Sure.
And who in our society, who are the powerful conquering heroes? The Roman Empire.
Yeah.
You could probably ask a bunch of Chinese men, how much they think about Genghis Khan.
Probably a
and
lot.
his, because we want to think about conquering heroes, warfare. There's something
interesting
in the male brain. There's something more elegant about bows and arrows and cavalry, like warfare, rather than like modern
drone
warfare.
strikes.
That's fun. Modern warfare,
I think the technology is interesting.
But there's more of this like man versus man machismo in the older style of combat, which I think attracts a lot of people.
I've just seen some people ask that question. They say like twice a week or every day. And I'm like,
that's wild.
Really? Like every other day you're thinking about Nero and Julius Caesar?
I find usually I am either reading something that makes reference to the Roman Empire or brings my thought to the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
I mean, when I read the Bible, you think about the Roman Empire. I mean, they were a big player in the Roman Empire.
I think that's irrelevant to the subject matter.
You're saying just like in a random day.
Like you think about them just because?
I don't know if I do that.
You're driving down the highway and think to yourself, if I were an ancient Roman, I'd be in a chariot.
Yeah,
I would like to know more about the types of thoughts and context of thoughts with the Roman.
Usually something brings my mind to the Roman Empire.
However, most humans go through the same general activities in their day. We go to work, we drive our car, we go to the grocery store,
when I lift weights,
dinner.
Sometimes I think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's that same level of like manly.
I did 3 out of 3 workouts this week.
Did you think about the Roman Empire?
I didn't think about the Roman Empire
well, you will
even
now.
once. No, I won't.
I promise you.
I will not.
Monday morning's gonna roll around. You're gonna start to work out.
I'll
and you're gonna
report back next week, but I really don't think that's the case.
You're gonna think about them.
No, I won't. Because I'm gonna be listening to my book.
Well,
and I'm gonna be thinking about my book.
I think there's a massive movement of stoicism right now as well.
Yes.
So I think a lot, like specifically with men,
true.
I think a lot of that, it's all interconnected.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it could be the warfare side of things. It could be the philosophy side of things. It was a massive empire.
I'm not saying that it wasn't. I'm just saying I don't think about it more often than once or twice a year.
We live in a Western society that is based off of that empire.
Okay.
Does that not bring your mind to where we came from?
No.
Interesting.
It does not.
You're not a history person. You could give two.
Listen, I'm becoming more of a history person as I get older. You can't deny that.
You are reading more history, yes.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I mean, that's great.
But I don't think about the Roman Empire very often.
I will say, you're not reading ancient history. You're reading modern American history most of the time. Maybe modern European and
Western history. Right. Yeah.
This is different. Fair. This is not history. History is 10,000 BC, right?
Yeah.
We need a different word for the last 300 years. That's not real.
Well, it's different.
I just maybe 300. We were talking about this yesterday. This idea that the past 100 years has 90% of the historical scholarship drives me insane, dude.
It's not the same. It's important to have the like first level source material that people will use 100 years from now to talk about now.
Yes.
But
these like
what's written about? Yeah, I mean, even things, historical works that are written about now, written about the 1960s, you still can't have a bird's eye view. It's like you were there,
right?
You, the author, were there, in the 1960s, participating in all of this. It is not possible for you to have like an bird's eye, unbiased view.
Well,
if you were a participant,
that's a great point. I think that the study and the scholarship of history has turned into, on both sides of the political aisle, let me make my point through iffy references to the past. 100 years.
Yeah.
Because they're not making references to ancient Rome.
No.
They're making references to the 60s.
Right. And
1800s.
Again, it's 100, 200 years from now, it will be useful to have the writings of people who were there and experienced it, of course.
Sure.
But
it's a memoir.
It's not history. It's going to be different. And that's okay.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. That level of historical scholarship leads you back to ancient Rome, the Persians, the Egyptians, these grand societies.
You know, I always actually have been partial to the ancient Egyptians.
Well,
even my parents, mom, dad, please comment down below to confirm the fact that I was really into ancient Egypt as a kid.
The problem is we just lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
So we just don't, the other thing about Rome is we just have so much information about what day-to-day life was for not just the leaders of Rome, but also the
regular people. Yeah.
So I think that's what's really fascinating about it as well.
Yeah. I think what I've always, as a kid, I was really into like different like codes and like things like that. So it was the hieroglyphics and the language piece of it.
The Egyptians are cool. They're not the Romans.
That's what drew me in. And then I like learned about the pyramids and whatever.
Awesome. They're not the Romans.
That's true. Well, the Romans aren't the Egyptians. I'm just going to say.
It's very easy to have your mind be brought to the Roman Empire.
I just will take your word for it.
I mean, for goodness sakes, you turn on anything, it's like the fall of the American Empire. What does that immediately make you think of? The fall of the Roman Empire. So there you go. You're there.
I get it.
There's 1 degree of separation.
I'm understanding your points, and they are valid.
I just don't understand how you don't think about it.
I just don't think about it. It does not come through my head.
It doesn't come through my head unprompted, the way that some of these people online are talking about now.
Yeah.
But it does. Frequently, I am 1 degree away from thinking about the Roman Empire. So there you go.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
That is very fascinating.
I got a video coming out about bench press, probably coming out on Wednesday or Thursday.
Nice.
So be excited about that. My elbows are going to explode because I'm just training. I'm testing another program. If you watch the YouTube video where I tested Bromley's program. I'm testing, his name is Bryce Lewis. He's a very good powerlifter, very good powerlifting coach. So I'm testing one of his programs. It's a more traditional powerlifting approach, which means that the frequency is a little bit higher than I'm used to. So I'm squatting 3 times a week and I'm benching 3 times a week. And that has absolutely wreaked havoc on my elbows. So subscribe to the channel so you get both the bench press video that's coming out soon and in a couple of weeks, the full review of that program and maybe some ways to shake it up so that your elbows don't explode. We're gonna leave it there unless you have anything else to say.
I don't think so.
Thank you for joining us for another episode. Yeah. Who knows if we'll have another one after this?
I think we probably will.
I put it at 70%.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to need to follow up on how often I think about the Roman Empire in the coming week. So please stay tuned.
The problem is, it is the issue of testing now. It has become a purple elephant in your mind. We'll aware.
We'll see. I really don't think
because now I'm going to think about the Roman Empire every day.
I don't think I'm going to think about it that much.
Well, we'll see.
I'll make a note.
Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, share the podcast to your friends and family.
Yeah.
Annoy them with it. Just be relentless with your promotion of this podcast. We love you. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.